But yeah, so Terry, you made an interesting comment there too about, groups that just it doesn't hit for UD, or we design for this or we design for that. And I would say for both of you too, just like judging on the scholastic level does present different challenges, especially when you're looking at the effect caption, just because in the independent realm, a lot of the groups are similar. 8, 9 snares, 4 or 5 quads, 5, 6 basses, large pit. But in the scholastic level, you might see a group that's 6 snares, 3 quads, 6 basses, 8 marimbas, and then the next group that comes on 3, 2, and 5. So I would imagine that you have to like kind of just get out of your own head is like, is this effective because it's bigger, or like is it just cleaner because it's smaller? So I do feel like the Scholastic does present just a different nuance to the game. Do you feel like that, Terry, when you're watching, or is it just pretty much just kind of speak for itself
No,
most of the time?
it's the judging music. It's the show in its entirety. I'll never forget in 2010, I had a kid quit right before we started the season, so that put me down to 2 snares, 2 tenors, and the rest of the ensemble. And I went to the kids and I said, "Hey, you guys want me to try to get this kid back?" And he was kind of a bad apple, and they were like, "No, we want to go with 2 and 2." I was like, "Well, we're going to compete against some big groups." They're like, "We don't care. We're ready to go." And they were talented. So we go to the Mid-South Regional up in Nashville, and there are 12 Scholastic Open units. After prelims, we finished second. After finals, we finished second, which further made me love the activity because I had one of the judges tell me in critique, "I don't care what size your ensemble is, it's the effectiveness of your program.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got 1 snare, 1 tenor. If those kids are performing and they're putting down and they're cohesive and you have a great program with some great effect moments built in, I don't care if you got 3 snares or 10. So, same thing. It doesn't matter. I had a kid ask me one day at time in a clinic. He said, if such and such group went on first, he was talking about DCI, if such and such group went on first, would they get a different score, or how do you judge them? I said, look, if it's 3 o'clock in the day, if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, if that group is good, they're going to get a great number. If they're not good, they're going to get a different number. So I really don't care if you go on first or last or middle. You're going to get the score that you performed.
Well, it's funny you talk about whether you go on first or last or in the middle, it shouldn't affect it. I know there's definitely kind of a unspoken, perceived effect of have drawing first in prelims, and it's like, well, we're going to have to be amazing or there's no way we're going to get hired in this place or whatever. And I would say Evan and I are probably guilty of at least alluding to that once or twice throughout the time we've been doing this podcast. But I will say this year, really, and I'm referring to POW for Independent World prelims, they went on dead first, and I think they finished prelims in like 7th or 8th overall or something. So like that right there tells you, like, they've got it figured out, and they can get it right. If you throw down in first, the first group to go on, you're going to get the number you deserve.
Yeah, I don't have my numbers for them in front of me, but I'm sure that they were a box 5 number for me.
Right.
I wouldn't say that if you go on first, you should have the mindset with your kids to put that added pressure on them that we gotta be great. No, if you're great, you're gonna get a good number.
Right.
And I can't speak for everybody on the panel. I can't speak for Mike, but like he just said, a group came on and their number held for a while. I think that is the beauty of our activity, that you have a chance. First, middle, last, it doesn't matter. On my sheet, I'm going to align those groups on how they perform, regardless of what time. Right. So, you're worried about, my postmark, I didn't get my postmark date in, and we're going to be on first. I don't care, bro. You come out, you put it down, you get to put down number.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike, sorry.
I was going to say, I always tell my students now, like, if we're on early in the show, if we're on first, like, that's our opportunity to set the tone for the day.
Right. Yeah. Set the bar high.
Yeah.
9092 was the box scores for POW and prelims.
There it was. Box 5.
Anyone that buys into that philosophy of if you draw early, you're at a disadvantage. I mean, just look at POW this year in Independent World of prelims. That's proof right there, and you're listening to these two right here say it. So I think my days of even insinuating are over
And why would you tell your kids that in the lot? Why would
Yeah.
I tell a group of kids who are hungry, well, we're going on first, so we're not going to do well? You just killed all their smoke, man.
Yeah.
You know, they're fired up, ready to go, and you're going to tell them something like that? No, man, let's go in here and put it down.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just prepare. I would say for anybody in like what we do in the fall, whether it's marching band, indoor, or whatever, is that we prepare for that time slot, especially if it's BOA and you go on early. Like it's like, hey, we go on at 8:30. It's like, well, you know what we're gonna do when we have this Saturday rehearsal the week prior? We're gonna show up and we're gonna do a run through the first thing in the morning at 8:30 a.m. to see what you got. Like we're gonna prepare the students for that. Not, oh, we're gonna do the run through after 3 hours of rehearsal. That's not real life.
Nope.
No, like if you go on at 3:30 for prelims, like, all right, do a run through in the middle of the afternoon block. What are we gonna do?
You know, preparation with your kids, man, is so much. And I love watching it from the stands because I can tell the groups who are prepared, like the groups who get penalties because they didn't practice getting on and off the floor. You know, that's on the staff that didn't prepare those kids. I watched a group one year as a competitor. They were following me and they were a good group, and I wanted to see how they did. And they came out and their electronics wouldn't work. And they finally just decided that too much time had gone. It's going to be battery and acoustic mallets only, go. And those kids threw down. They didn't blink. Nobody was crying. Nobody was looking around. You know, when they had rest that was like narration or something, somebody counted on the floor and they made it in the finals.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because they had prepared. And I would do that to my kids. I'd have them start the show and I'd go over and yank the plug out of the wall.
Yeah, if you're not doing a show in the fall or winter, like without electronics at some point to see if you can get through it, good
What
luck
if it
rolling the
rains?
dice. Like we would
Yeah,
teach
what
the
if it's
kids
raining?
playing. We teach the piano kids like, all right, here's the lead line. Learn how to play it on vibraphone or bells, so
Yeah,
you can
that's
start the
smart.
show.